Welcome back. In this video, I will be showing you guys how to remove an element from an array. So, some of you guys might think remove, delete, it's the same thing, right? You might use those two words interchangeably when you are conversing in your day-to-day lives, but in what I'm going to be doing today, I need you guys to understand the importance in the two words because by me saying I'm going to teach you how to remove an element from an array is very different than if I had to say I'm going to teach you how to delete an element from an array. I will start by declaring my array, right? So we have an array. That's that. So let me just start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's get that. 10. And let's have a for loop. Integer I is equals to 0. I is less than size of array, right? Divided by size of array, and then that, and then we say I plus plus, right? And then we say if array I is equals to 5, then we should continue, right? And so now what we're going to do, we're going to be displaying the array, the contents of the array. Right, so let's do that and let's run our program. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Likewise, if we were to change this continue to now say break, now we're going to be only getting 1, 2, 3, and 4. But let's just stick with the continue. All right. I want to elaborate more on the point that I touched on earlier, where when I was still giving the brief introduction of the video. I said that there's a difference between the saying that removing an element from an array and deleting an element from an array. And the difference is you cannot delete an element from an array, right? You cannot delete an element from an array. In the upcoming videos that I will do, I'm not too sure when, but I'll be releasing a video on dynamic memory. It's going to be a 2-series. Maybe I'll make it into a 3-series video because it's quite a lengthy video, but I want to make sure that I get everything into those 3 videos that I can get with dynamic memory and dynamic arrays. So what you will learn there with dynamic arrays and dynamic memory is that each element in the array has a memory location, and you cannot delete those memory locations. You cannot delete it because each and every variable, every local variable is stored, every function is stored in the stack. So as it's being stored in the stack, again, you guys will understand this thing once I drop the dynamic memory or dynamic array video, which I will in the upcoming videos. You guys are going to have much more insight on what I'm talking about, right? So you cannot sort of delete an element from an array. Likewise, you are required to specify the length of the array in your main function, right? If I were to do this, my program would give me an error, right? Error. Scalar object array requires one element in initializer. I need to initialize the array by putting these square brackets. Or if I did not have this line, right? it would still give me an error. Storage size of array is unknown, so I will have to give it some value that will indicate the length of the array, right? So now it works perfectly fine. It's not going to give me any errors, right? But let's just go back to where it was before, right? Let's just go back to where it was before. So you cannot delete an element from an array because this guy has its own unique memory address. This guy has its own unique memory address. This guy has its own unique memory address, and this guy and this guy. So all of these elements in the array, they are stored in the memory stack. And the memory stack will only get cleared once this main function has already produced its output. Once the main function has produced its output, there and then will all of the elements in the array be removed from the stack. Everything will be removed from the stack, including this for loop, including everything. It will be removed from the stack, right? So why is there such a significance in me telling you this? There's a significance in me telling you this because if you think that you are going to be deleting an element from an array, well, a person who's a teacher or a person who knows something about programming will then say, okay, so if you're going to say that you are deleting an element from an array, well, let's see if the length of the array will actually go down. So let's just do this, right? Let us just do this for fun. Let us display the length of this array. Size of, right, size of, for fun. Let's just see what's gonna happen, right? Let us just see what's gonna happen if we display the length of this array. We've already checked if this condition is met, and then we said we want to continue, meaning that we will be effectively removing this 5. But if you think that by us removing this 5, we are deleting 5 from the array, well, let's see what's going to happen if we try to get the length of the array now. The length of the array is 10. Why? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 elements in this array. So by you using the continue and break statement, that does not actually does anything, or it does not do anything that's significant towards the actual memory location of this entire array. It's only for the interface, it's only for what the eyes can see, but behind all of that, behind the entire compilation of this entire program, within the computer's memory registers, this array is still stored in the stack with 10 different elements that have a memory location assigned to each and every one of them. So I just want you guys to not use those two words interchangeably, to not use the words remove with delete, because you would not be deleting an element from an array. I will keep on iterating this because it's very important. It's the little details that actually matter. It's little details that show a person, or pardon me, whomever is going to be examining your paper, that you actually know what the hell you're talking about. So removing an element from an array, it's the same as us saying that I'm removing this, but I am going to keep this guy as 0, right? I've effectively removed the 5, but I've kept it as 0, right? If I say that I want you to remove element number 8, you are going to remove it, but you're going to put it as 0, right? Let's do this. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about here, because the computer is not going to display 0. It's going to just display 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, right? Let's do this. Let's get rid of all of this. Let's come up here. No, let's come up here. And let's just say 10. Right? Let's come up here and let's just say 10. Right? Let's remove this line. And then let's display this array. And let's just display this array. Right? One below the other. Okay, I'm not too sure about what's happening there. So we have the size of this array I less than size of the array I plus plus. Oh, sorry, I need to let me just declare this array sort of globally, right? So this array is, let's just do it manually. Size is equals to all of this. Let's just do this manually. Is less than size, right? And so I want us to display this entire array. Sorry, I'm not so sure about that. For integer I, okay, expected. Oh, sorry, I don't see that at all. Okay, so this is what it's giving us. It's giving us 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? Which is exactly what I said when I was re-emphasizing that. Let me just go up here. When I was re-emphasizing that if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, and then we were to say remove element number 6, we would be removing this element number 6, but we would be putting a 0 there, right? We would be putting a 0 there. If we had an array of strings, what this 0 would represent is this. This means that there is nothing. The sixth position or the sixth index or the sixth element is equals to nothing, right? So that's what we would have been doing. It's almost like if there was, if you were in a taxi or if you were in a bus and you were to get on a bus, and let's just say that there are 26 seats on a bus and there are, say, 15 passengers already boarding the bus, and you were to then come in and occupy, let's just say that one person was to get out of the, maybe say like the fifth seat, and then you were to occupy the fifth seat, and you were to also get out, and then now the bus has still 26 seats. But just because you got out of the fifth seat does not mean that now the size or the number of seats that are present in that bus have now been reduced. It just means that you have just evacuated from that particular seat. There is still a seat there. It is unoccupied. The seat has no one there, but it did not remove or it did not change the number of seats that are still available in the bus. There's still 26 seats. Regardless of the fact that there is one seat that is unoccupied, there is still 26 seats on the bus. It's the same logic that you can apply to this.